Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the AOS Tech Report. I'm Corey Green, and with me, as always, is Matt Nash. And Matt, today we're here to talk about some of the benefits of remote work. We were posed this question by some of our customers, which was interesting for us to see because there obviously have been a lot of challenges in working remotely during a pandemic, both in our work lives, of course, in our personal lives as well. So, Matt, let me ask you, what's your favorite benefit thus far of working remotely?
I gotta say, I was hesitant to adopt it at first, but video chat rooms have been really popular. I love it personally. There's some three major key points that I love about it. The one is the information sharing. So, being able to share multimedias, videos, slideshows, being able to pivot, give people control. It's just great for meetings in the modern day. Another one is travel time, right? Traveling to and from meetings. We can have these meetings virtually, get to the point, get on with the day, do some other tasks throughout the day. You're not kind of bogged up with the travel time, getting in, settled down, setting up in a boardroom. It's all right here at our fingertips. Like, I personally love that.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because obviously you and I were road warriors for all the years that we've been here at AOS, driving to and from meetings. So it definitely has cut down the travel time. So, I mean, to some degree, you can be more efficient with your day by not having to go
Oh,
anywhere.
absolutely. And I mean, not to mention the wear and tear on your car, right?
Yeah, well, certainly that does make a difference. I think and we'll get a feel for it when you realize you put no mileage on it throughout the year. But no, I mean, those are great points. For me, in terms of working from, virtually and over conferencing, do you find that collaboration is just as easier, or more challenging?
Absolutely. I mean, I look at our company, and we have different breakout departments and different teams that we've set up through Microsoft Teams in the platform itself. And I've asked my customers too, how do you guys manage? You guys have separate departments, separate collaborative teams, and the answer is yes. They're all utilizing those features, all sharing documents throughout that platform, making it for an easy collaborative workspace through the online forums. And now there's lots of different platforms too. I personally feel that Microsoft Teams, with the collaboration features in terms of OneDrive and different sharing of files, has definitely been strong for our customers.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about, just with respect to digitization of documents, right? So many places were relying on hard copy documents. So one of the benefits, and though, albeit it may have been a forced one, was that people had to become more agile and pivot from a hard copy footprint into a digitized one. And you mentioned it. So things like OneDrive or SharePoint have
Yep.
allowed people to do that. And for people who don't know the difference, the OneDrive is sort of your personal drive with your files, and the SharePoint is a drive used for collaboration across teams or organizations as well. And then that integrates so nicely into a platform like Microsoft Teams because you can so easily retrieve documents and share them out to the people on those calls. And again, yes, to some degree, it forced us to do that because we're all working in physical silos where you can't
Absolutely.
walk down the hall to someone. But I think moving forward, that's going to be a strategy that's going to help businesses. Number one, reduce their paper platforms and their paper intensive processes, but
Yeah.
also allow you to be agile down the road and share documentation more rapidly.
Yeah, and I even find with my customers and certain prospects that it's actually becoming more and more easy to use for our customers. Before it was, there was a lot of hesitation. They were kind of happy with the way things were. But like you said, it's not. It was a progression, and this pandemic has, accelerated that migration to digitization. So it's definitely, customers are getting more used to it, which is actually a good thing.
I agree. I mean, you mentioned right at the top of your first point your reluctance to move into some of these things. And again, us being guys who spent so much time on the road doing things a certain way, you do get used to it. And that creates maybe a mental barrier to adopting things like this. But because we've already gone through it, I think that there's a lot of positives moving forward now that we understand how this technology works and how it can save us, number one, time and in certain ways money as well, right? So I think as we move forward into what we're all looking forward to post pandemic, I think a lot of these types of things will sit there. Which just kind of brings me to the last point. Microsoft 365, Matt, we've adopted it. We use it a lot. We've already talked about Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint. Is there anything else that you really love about Microsoft 365 and things that you find your customers really enjoying about it?
Yeah, I mean, other than just having that ability to have all of your documents editable, able to share it out on a broader scale throughout your organization, that really is just what it comes down to is the quick retrieval of information, documents, and turning over those documents faster than a paper-based environment.
Yeah, and I mean, for me, I know you're a wizard with Microsoft Excel, and I'm getting there as well. And I really like the idea of us being able to collaborate on the same document at the same time, whether we're in a meeting or if we're prepping something for another meeting. It does make it a lot easier to go through things, right? So that's been a big benefit that I've seen, and again, something that I think will live on post-pandemic.
Absolutely. And maybe go back to the first point just to kind of wrap it up. Virtual meetings are not going to go away. So we have to educate our customers to embrace this. I feel like there's more productivity coming out of these meetings. Where now, if I'm kind of weighing in person or digital, I'm kind of leaning towards digital because of the productivity that we're getting out of these meetings. It's definitely a lot less back and forth, and you kind of get to the point and your message across more clearly, I find.
Great. Yeah, I fully agree with you. I think it's going to be a balance between the both, but certainly to your point, there is a bit of a tendency to go to the digital way now, right? So I think it's great. I really appreciate the time today, Matt. I know we've had a blast. Yeah, I know we've had a blast doing these. So everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, if you have any questions, please fire them off our way. The email will be in our post. And until then, have a great February, and we'll talk to you guys in March.
See you guys.